I'll record it. There we go.
What's your
Okay,
question?
I guess we're recording now. So, hi, Pia Rolando, sorry, I said that wrong. Welcome to Fun Mothers Club, and thank you for coming and having a chat with us tonight about women's wellness and using CBD and how to decipher the world of that. So we know what kind of products we might want to try, and so I will turn it over to you at this point.
All right, let's go ahead and start the presentation here.
Oh, it says this disabled screen sharing.
Let me see here. Did that work?
Yep.
Okay.
Why is it not?
Let's see. Oh, Nasli, what does it say in advanced sharing options on yours?
Security and privacy grant access.
I made you host, so now I can't see any of the.
Oh, okay, because it's not letting me change it to all participants. Oh, wait, now I can. Okay. There we go. Let's see if that works now.
Where's security? It's not letting us.
Strange. I changed it to all participants can share.
Again,
Let's try again.
And okay, see if that works. Change
Well,
another
it's
thing.
on our end. For some reason, you're on your system. It's not allowing Zoom.
okay, let's do this. Let's do that again. Share screen.
Get on my computer.
Try your computer.
Okay.
Mark.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Or later.
Later. That's fine. It should be fine. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Still not.
Screen, try it.
Huh? That's what I did. Oh, there.
Oh, we have something.
Okay.
Oh, you see it? Okay.
Something, yep.
There it is.
There it is.
Maybe you can do the intro again. I don't know.
Okay.
The intro again. Yes. This is Pia and Rolando from, correct me if I say this wrong, Malaya. Is that correct?
That's
Yes,
correct.
That's right.
Malaya Botanicals. They are in Alameda. They have a brick and mortar in Alameda, and they are going to discuss women's wellness using CBD. And they are going to walk us through how to choose products and what the differences are and all of that other good stuff. So there you go.
Thank you. Once again, I'm Rolando, I'm managing partner of Malaya.
And I'm
this-
Pia Barton. I'm the CEO and founder of Malaya Botanicals.
We have our brick and mortar in Alameda. We also do several events throughout the Bay Area. That's how we met Morgan, and that's why we were talking to your group. Hopefully we can give you some information about CBD, and also later on after the presentation, we'll have a question and answer.
We are also in other retail stores, spas, also nail salons.
So the goal of Malaya Botanicals is to destigmatize cannabis and provide education It's something that's definitely needed since CBD is new to a lot of people. There's a gap in that education process, and this is something that we're trying to do today.
So just kind of give you a little bit of a background. So my background is marketing. I'm a marketing consultant in the tech industry and also real estate. And that's how I got into the cannabis industry 7 years ago. I was asked to do some of the marketing strategies for some of the first cannabis licensees up in Mendocino, and also sat on the board of director for Small Farmers Association. Um, I basically helped and educate the farmers about the new regulation to see if they're going to stay in the traditional market or in the regulated market. And then 3 years ago, so I did that the first 3 years. And about 3 years ago is when we decided to switch from cannabis to hemp. Um, I'm also an injured triathlete, and CBD is what helped me with my pain. And that's why I switched over from cannabis to hemp. And we'll talk more about that on the pain relief section.
Okay. So what is CBD? CBD is one of the compounds in the plant. There's over 100 compounds in the cannabis plant. THC and CBD are the two more commonly known, more prevalent compounds in the plant. THC is what gives you a psychoactive effect. That's what it's known for. CBD is known more for its pain relief aspects, stress, help with stress and anxiety, and also as a sleep aid. The way CBD works, we want to touch on quickly. It works with your endocannabinoid system. It's a system in your body that helps create a homeostasis or balance with the other systems in your body, as such as your nervous system, your cardiovascular system.
So basically, when you receive cannabis, your endocannabinoid system is the one that directs how to where to go as far as what you are deficient with and what you are imbalanced with. For instance, I started taking the tincture for my pain because I had the root cause of my pain was inflammation. But I started to notice that it also started to help me with my fibromyalgia, which flares up when I'm stressed. So even though I'm still stressed, my body doesn't know that I'm stressed because taking a tincture helps me with my with the stress relief. And I'm also perimenopausal, and so it's a form of imbalance. So by taking the tincture also helps me with my perimenopausal symptoms.
So with the benefits of CBD, it's the three common issues that come up to us at our events at our store is regards to the pain relief. It's also in regards to stress and anxiety, and also as a sleep aid. When you're looking at products for CBD, there are three different categories that you're going to encounter, and it's important to know a bit about all three. Full spectrum is when you have all the cannabinoids, including THC from the plant. With hemp derived, we don't go above 0.3%. So that's what you're going to find in at our store. With dispensaries, they go above that level. There's also isolate and broad spectrum. Isolate is when they isolate just one compound, and commonly it's CBD. Broad spectrum is when they have all the cannabinoids except they remediate, they exclude the THC from that.
But you're going to start seeing, so prior to 2018, we were not allowed to do any research regarding cannabis. And so now that it's been a few years, we're going to start seeing all these different cannabinoids. As Rolando had mentioned, there's over 100 cannabinoids from a plant, whether it's hemp or cannabis plant, and each one has its own healing properties. So now the research is allowed, new cannabinoids are going to start coming into the market, and we'll learn more about it. So right now, the most common cannabinoid that's in an isolate form is CBD, but you're going to start seeing CBN, CBG, and each one has its own healing properties.
And also, we want to touch on the delivery methods you're going to encounter. There are topicals. The note on topicals is topicals are very hard to get into the bloodstream. They won't get absorbed. There, you also have edibles and tinctures. The difference between the edibles and the tinctures: edibles are absorbed through your digestive system, and tinctures are absorbed through your mouth and gets more directly into your bloodstream. So
Which is more
tinctures,
bioavailable.
it's a bit quicker, yes. And a CBD for holistic health. With CBD, it's both for physical and mental wellness. So they go hand in hand. Together with the mind and body, it can help promote your sleep, help reduce that stress and anxiety, and also it helps with pain and relieves tension.
And boost immunity.
And regarding CBD and pain relief, specifically, it's good to note that CBD helps with inflammation. Inflammation is one of the root causes of pain. So CBD is known for as a powerful anti-inflammatory.
So now you'll start seeing CBD in skincare. CBD particularly has high antioxidant and also helps with moisturizing. So you'll also find it more popular skincare, specifically with people with eczema, psoriasis, acne. It's when they have flare-ups, it's inflamed, and so by putting a topical CBD product on it, it will help with the inflammation, and so they can heal properly. More preventative for acne and psoriasis and eczema, taking the tincture or edible. So by most of the root cause of people who have flare-ups is because of stress and anxiety. So by helping them in a relaxed state, they have less flare-ups.
And these are our contact details. We're going to have that question and answer session, but feel free to give us a call at our number. And also you can contact us, email us about any questions. We always like to say it's not about our brand, it's about getting the information out there to all our customers and people in need of the information.
Let me unmute myself. Great, thank you so much. Dorini's on. Connie hasn't been able to join us yet. Nasli, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I think my first question is I think just going through the process of like looking for a quality like item, like if I were to walk into your store, what am I supposed to know, like what I need it for? Like what kind of products do you have, or do I just take one tincture and then it's everything is okay?
Well, actually, the great thing about what we try to do is provide that location where we were going to ask you questions such as what you will be using it for, whether you have, is it a stress and anxiety issue, whether it's a pain issue, what you've used in the past, what you're currently using. So it's almost like we do a little bit of an intake. That's what's a little lacking when you buy it online, or even buy it at a store like, let's say, CVS. When we first initially came into the industry, I would actually walk into a health food store, and no one came up to us. No one had a conversation with us, and it was locked behind a screen. You could actually also try our products. So that's something I believe is important with any company, especially with the topicals, to be able to try the products, because it is a plant. Everybody metabolizes it a bit differently. So you want to make sure it's effective for you, for yourself.
So when you walk into our store, normally we ask, what type of symptoms you're having, and we have our different products organized based on that. So pain relief, stress relief, and our staff or us will be able to show you the different items that you can, um, that you can take to help you with your symptoms.
Does that
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to add also, generally, since there are a lot of companies out there, more and more companies we've noticed since our inception, to have a company that has information such as a COA is important, which is a certificate of analysis. With that, that means that the product is tested. CBD, as opposed to something that you would buy a cannabis derived, it's governed by the FDA. So having a COA is something more that we, being on the cannabis side, we're more familiar with. And the COA will let you know, for example, if there's any contaminants in the plant. It'll let you know the percentages. So
The different levels of cannabinoids that's in each product.
yeah. So with any company you're dealing with, it's always good if you can ask for that information.
You can also ask about the background or the history of the company, where they're from. But, just to note, hemp plant was originally used to clean the soil for agriculture because it picks up everything from the soil. And so this is why it's important to know that where we're getting the oil is coming from a clean source.
Exactly.
Where does Malaya get its, where does your source?
So our farm is in Oregon, but we get our oil from a licensed lab up in Sacramento. And so we get the oil from them, and then we infuse it. So I'm an aromatherapist certified. I'm also cannabis aromatherapy certified.
Yeah, so it's important. I mean, even when you're considering a company, how close that they have a relationship with the plant, with the lab that they're working with. We're fortunate to have a really close relationship. We visited the lab that we have that we work with.
We all come from a cannabis background. A lot of the CBD stores that you see, even online, they just wholesale. So they carry other people's products. We're one of the few that actually we carry our own brand. We carry our own products. And right now we only wholesale a partnership with Foria. So Foria is known in the industry. They make lubricants and arousal oil on the cannabis side and also the hemp side. And so other than that, most of our products, come from our own company.
Can I ask another question? Oh, Tarini has a question. I was gonna ask about the COA. Is that certificate something that you have to renew every year? Is it like posted on your store like a diploma, or is it something that's a label on the product?
So we have ours. So we have ours in a binder at the shop because they vary depending on the batch. So a COA is supposed to be done per batch, or also per batch of what the oil or the finished product itself. So in the CBD market or the hemp industry, it's not mandatory. But on the cannabis, because cannabis is regulated, it is mandatory.
That's why it's important that with the company, with us, since we work in the industry, we actually, Pia here, when we were acquiring, decided to work with different companies. She was one of the first ones that would ask about a COA. Sometimes, yeah, in the beginning, people didn't even know that, that those kind of things
Yeah, some of
existed.
the CBD stores that we visited didn't know what COA was.
Yeah.
So that definitely worried me.
Yeah, and when you buy things online as well, they can get CBD now outside the country, and since CBD isn't regulated like cannabis derived, there might be some products out there that don't have that resource or type of CBD.
Okay. Doreen, did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I had many questions. And thank you, Nasli, for all your questions, because I didn't think of that. And so I want to know in general, because I know some of the products are edible. How do I get over a discomfort of putting something inside my body? Or is it something that I just read about and get over and just try? Or is there anything, do you have any resources that I can look up further, read about it? Only because I think if this is something I'm putting in my body, I want to know a little more.
Okay.
So the information for our
Mhm.
product on the website.
Uh-huh.
And then they get information from us when they buy from our shop or from when we are at the events. So, and then the COA, if asked, we have those as well. So is there
Okay.
anything further, like more information?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
other than that, is there any other, like, is there other information that's not covered by that you still want to know?
Yeah, I also want to understand the difference between cannabis infused and hemp. How, what is that difference? The reason I ask is because I had a friend of mine who tried bath salts which said CBD, and she said it was really good and relaxing, especially because they are big hikers. And I have this eternal dry skin, so I walked up to one of the markets and I found this like a cream which says 200 milligram hemp CBD. I didn't know what that meant, but I decided to try it. Anyway, like I took the smallest tube there. But when it comes to these things, what is the difference? And, how do I make a choice if they are both available?
I'll get it. So, so the difference, so there's cannabis plant and there's a hemp plant. The cannabis plant is the one that you see at the dispensaries,
Mhm.
and they need to have a cannabis license in order to operate. So hemp plant and cannabis plant are related, but the major difference between the two is a THC level. So THC
Oh.
level on the cannabis plant is a lot higher than a hemp plant. Also, for us, for our hemp derived products, we
Mhm.
cannot have more than 0.3%. If our product contains THC, legally we cannot sell a product that has more than 0.3% THC level. But on the cannabis, or buying from a dispensary, you'll see that there's different levels of THC,
Mhm.
which they're mandated to put that on their label.
Okay.
And so, so that's the difference between the
Okay.
hemp.
Yeah, because I can, in an introduction, I can relate to many of the issues that you also mentioned. So it kind of piqued my interest right there. I was like, yes, 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 inflammation, inflammation. And
It changed my life. I was
Mhm.
doing very well on the cannabis side. You know, being one of the you know, the first people to be part of the regulated market. There were so many
Okay.
opportunities. And so people were surprised when I decided to switch from cannabis to hemp.
Mm.
At that time, it wasn't, people didn't know the difference. It wasn't
Yeah.
legal yet. And it changed my life. And so I took the chance, and I knew this is what I wanted to promote and normalize and tell people.
Okay. Do you do consultations, or do we just walk into your store and ask?
Yeah, so we can walk to our store, and our
Mhm.
staff are trained, but I also take consultation over the phone.
Okay,
I
thank you.
actually put together a regimen for
Mhm.
our customers who are very sick.
Okay, okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Morgan. I'm done.
You're good. That was much shorter than you implied that it was going to be. Connie, did you have anything? I don't know. if
No, sorry I'm late. I was in another meeting. But I totally missed the story about why is it Pia? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, moved from cannabis to hemp. And then I don't know if you talked about how it helped you personally, and then maybe I don't know if you shared what has some of the products help people or women in general, and what are some of the things that you see repeatedly?
Okay, sure. So I'm an injured triathlete. I was doing, and I was in a pain management program at Kaiser. So I have sciatica. It's so bad that it was basically debilitating. So I went from climbing Half Dome, doing Ironman, to bedridden. Just going to the bathroom was, you know, not fun. And so at the time I was prescribed 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen for my pain. They said that I was so inflamed that I was even losing hair. And so that's why I needed to take 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen with no end date. So which I was taking every day for 2 months. And so I knew it was something that I couldn't sustain. And so started to advocate for myself. So I was in the cannabis at the time, and I wake up in pain. So I started taking edibles and tinctures, but I was too high to even function. Even a small amount of cannabis, taking it in the morning, I couldn't function at all. And so I stopped taking it. And so I started taking topicals. It would work for a little bit, but not enough. And so I actually got to a point where I stopped taking cannabis, even though I was still in the industry. And then a friend had given me a pain cream and was CBD. And so I tried it, and 5 minutes, and it started working. And I was like, what is this thing? And I didn't know. I started doing my own due diligence. I started going to CBD conference all over the US. And the more that I learned about it, the more it called to me to do this, helping with imbalances, not only with pain. So I figured, I was the target audience. And so we curated the products that we created based on really my needs. So we have roll-ons, which is it's made of essential oils. You know how aromatherapy, you blend different essential oils to address a specific symptom.
Yep.
And so I started using that same concept with CBD. So we have a calm roll-on that people would use and apply on their pulse points Also the
Mhm.
bottom of their feet when they start to feel stressed or anxious or they can't sleep. And so CBD also helps with that. So now in a 10 ml roll-on bottle, you have all these different essential oils and CBD. So it's pretty powerful. And so, I was in pain, so I started to have, started using the pain creams, and then the
Mhm.
tincture, that was a surprise to me when it started to help me with my fibromyalgia and my perimenopausal symptoms. Like Rolando would lovingly ask me on some days if I had taken my tincture. And because he can tell the difference, and I can tell the difference. We actually just came back from Mexico, and I didn't take my tincture with me because I was. Oh, so that's another thing too. So you can fly with hemp products within the United States, but you cannot fly outside of the country. And so I didn't take it for 5 days, and I could feel the difference. So I take it every day, and I don't feel a difference. It doesn't feel like it's working. But when I stopped taking it, I could feel the tightness and soreness in my body. I can tell from my mental state
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah, actually, we just came from an industry meeting or Zoom meeting earlier today, which specifically talked about how
Women's health.
women's health and how estrogen levels
Mhm.
change throughout the years with women. And that's why CBD is actually one of the reasons why Pia pursued this more and more, is that basically women's bodies are a bit more
It's a bit more
complicated
complicated
and
than men. We have
men.
more body fat. We have, the hormones, the things like
Mhm.
that. So it's constantly changing. So, with the endocannabinoid system that Rolando had talked about, its main function is to create that balanced state, the homeostasis state. So by taking cannabis, and they just know what you are deficient or what you are imbalanced with. When we get sick, it's some type of deficiency or some type of imbalance. This is why also a lot of our customers take this, our aging customers, whether it's human or pets, because it helps them
Okay.
with those as
Mhm.
well.
So are you off the ibuprofen altogether?
I am. This month,
Cool.
September is my 3rd year.
Oh my goodness.
And before I was taking, as an athlete, I was taking ibuprofen before a workout, during a workout. So I was training for Ironman. So I was
Mhm.
training, 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Um, so I was constantly, in pain, and it would get me through my training, and headaches, hangover, whatever. Ibuprofen was my go-to. I
Yeah.
actually had a headache yesterday, and I thought about taking, ibuprofen. I was like, no, I haven't taken it in so long. And I did take Mucinex for the first time in 3 years. My body hasn't had any Mucinex or Tylenol or anything. And I did take Mucinex for the first time a couple months ago, and it was not good. And so yeah, it's changed my life, definitely.
For me, I've used CBD because of my gout issues. Um, I've had gout since my 20s. Um,
What
gout,
is that?
well, gout. Uh,
Yeah, I
gout.
don't really know what that is.
What it does, your body's
Inflammation.
body has inflammation in different joints. It
Okay.
flares up through the food I eat, my genetics.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I can't change that, and I try to eat better. But when I
Mhm.
don't, the CBD helps with the inflammation. So I'll still have gout, but my inflammation, it doesn't last as long, and it calms down my inflammation, so it's a bit more bearable.
And it's also the flare-ups are less. When I for before he started taking CBD on a regular basis, he would have flare-ups pretty um uh I would say every
Yeah.
at least once a month. And it's very painful. Like he is bedridden
Mm.
when he has
Wow.
flare-ups. and it's in his joints and things like that. And so now his diet has improved a bit, but he does take his tincture regularly now. So you notice that when he does have flare-ups, it's not as bad and it's not
Okay.
as often.
And
Very
with gout, it becomes an issue like arthritis. So my joints ache a bit more even when I'm not having gout issues. But with taking the tinctures and taking CBD, what I feel almost a bit looser because of less inflammation and less of those pain issues, less aches and pains. And one of the great things we want to mention about CBD, although I use it for pain, when I take my tincture, I generally take it at night. It actually helps as a sleep aid. Like Pia mentioned, it kind of finds what your body needs when your body's out of balance. So, of course, owning a business and running around doing the normal things in life, I have trouble sleeping as well. But since it helped me for pain, it's actually helps me also for sleep as well. So
great.
it works on multiple issues for people.
So
Okay.
I kind of want to touch on that. I want to add that it's not a sleep aid like a melatonin. What it does is the root cause of most people that can't sleep is because their mind or their body can't relax. And so CBD helps you relax. So when your mind and body are relaxed and when you're ready to sleep, then you sleep much faster and easier.
I notice I
Okay.
wake up a little bit less times, so my quality
Mhm.
of sleep is a bit better. I feel like I get a deeper sleep.
Okay. Great. I have a friend whose dad is got stage 4 lung cancer, and I think they've tried THC route, and he didn't like it. So I'm gonna talk to her and ask her to go talk to you guys. She's in Alameda too.
Does
So
and he still has cancer.
yes.
Okay, so with CBD and cancer, CBD helps with the chemotherapy side effects. So the
Okay.
nausea, the pain, and things
Hmm.
like that. But um, there have been some studies, high THC level um, actually shrinks tumors. And so that's, so I mean, that's not something that, we don't provide that kind of products, but just something
Hmm.
to think about. There are suppositories. So they use suppository and they put high THC oil in there. And
Hmm.
there's been studies that shown that it has either shrank the tumors, or tumors are gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
and incorporating CBD, um, your if you have dosage questions, there's
Hmm.
actually different ways you can take it throughout the day. Like I mentioned, I take it at night. But
Hmm.
if for chronic issues, you're trying to keep it in your system throughout the day, being mindful of how the CBD is affecting you can help you kind of figure out your dosages. You could do things. We've talked to people and had them do different things like split their dosage between the day and nighttime. We've had people, actually, one thing to notice is microdosing and consistency with a lot of the CBD products that you're taking internally is something that helps with chronic issues. It's not about taking a lot of CBD
Hmm.
for some issues, because your body can only absorb a certain amount and it'll expel what it doesn't need. So taking it consistently, letting the body build back into balance is what you could be looking for. So taking a small amount every day consistently is sometimes could be that key. But that's what we try to do. We actually ask you questions on if you were trying a different product. We ask how you're taking it. We've helped tweak their dosages.
That's where we put together a regimen for them.
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna have her come do that for you guys.
Thank you.
Rini, did you have a question?
Yes. My question is, when you use CBD, is there any kind of side effect that is possible or I can expect? And the other question is, how addictive does it get? Like when you travel, is it an addictive thing? Like if you take it for pain, and I have to, and like you said, you can't travel out of the country with hemp products. So if I go in and come and I'm using it for some pain or inflammation, will the lack of usage of the product cause any problems? Because um, if I don't have access to the product and I end up taking an ibuprofen or Tylenol, does it cause any issues in the body?
Kendra, so for instance, like I had mentioned, when I went to Mexico last week, and I didn't take it for 5 days. So it's not that it's because it's addictive, but because I have not changed my lifestyle. So, you know, the food that I eat, you know, drinking alcohol, the stress, it's all still there. So
Okay.
either I change my lifestyle so that I'm not causing inflammation in my body, causing the pain, or I take CBD that will help me manage my inflammation. So
Okay.
so that's kind of how it works. So does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's more of a management tool rather than fixing the
Correct.
problem, right? Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's addressing the issue. So whereas a topical, when you have pain and you have inflammation in that specific area, it will help with the inflammation only for that area. The tincture, the edible, actually addresses, it just addresses what you are lacking or what you are imbalanced with.
Okay. Okay.
Not to get too deep into how it works in the body. Your body actually naturally makes cannabinoids as part of your
Okay.
endocannabinoid system. So what you're basically taking in cannabis is the plant version of cannabinoids. So your body's balances itself out when you're lacking or you're deficient, or you're
Okay.
with that
It's replacing.
you're supplementing yourself with that. So
Okay.
it's just creating a balance. It's not going
Ah.
over a certain amount. We're just trying to find that balance again.
You know how
Okay.
when we age, we start having imbalances and deficiencies. So that's that's why they say CBD is anti-aging. So it's not just
Okay.
skincare. So it's not just external, but internal as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's helpful.
Okay, I have one really kind of strange question.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Are you guys aware of the Disney World CBD arrest of the Grand?
Oh yes, that's exactly how I became okay to travel.
Okay, so that has changed, I suppose. I know that was something to do with Florida law and Disney specific rules and things like that. But I was wondering if you had heard any like other horror stories like
Yeah,
that.
I know that's
Was
the.
it hemp or cannabis?
It was actually.
I think she had a cannabis.
No,
So
it
it was
actually
a CBD oil.
Yeah, it was I think it might have been a grandma that was traveling.
Yeah. So TSA did not approve traveling with hemp derived products until June of 2019. I
Okay.
believe that happened right before that.
Yeah, I believe that was related. That's one of the reasons why TSA decided to change its attitude, their policies toward it, and now you're able to travel because it's regarded as federally legal if it's hemp derived cannabis.
Okay,
which
so
means
there's no more like states that have banned it like Florida did at one point. You can it's federally
it's
covered.
hemp derived. It's good to know that it has to be a hemp derived product. If
Okay.
it's cannabis derived, and those cannabis derived products
It's
are
only state to state.
and those are the ones you'll find in dispensaries and deliveries, cannabis dispensaries and deliveries.
Okay.
So it's good to know what kind of, whether it's cannabis derived or hemp derived.
Okay. CBD comes out of both.
CBD,
Yes.
yes.
Just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Um,
logo THC. Logo.
okay, so that's good to know, because I was always like wondering, like, if you're carrying like CBD lotion or something on you, are you going to get a drug sniffing dog all of a sudden interested in you? So
Yeah, and honestly, it's so low. Like even our edibles, like our gummies and mints, it doesn't taste, doesn't have any cannabis taste.
okay. Actually, that brings me to another question. The tinctures, does it taste weird?
Initially, that's what the industry had, tinctures that didn't taste well, but
Ours taste well.
throughout the course of time, they know that consumers were turned off about that, so they actually process it where they remediate that. So our tinctures, they even have flavored tinctures. So our tinctures doesn't have
It's a little bit of a peppermint.
that planty taste that people first experienced. We don't have that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dirt taste or something. Like,
Yeah, ours is not.
Yeah, that was the initial tinctures that were out there.
yeah, that was like one of the main reasons I didn't want to try it, because yeah, I'd always heard it tasted like dirt. So it's
We actually have something interesting. We have a water-soluble powder, which mixes better with a lot of beverages. Initially, it was an oil form.
The tincture is oil form, and it doesn't. I mean, and people still do it now. They put it in their coffee or juice, but as you know, oil and water don't mix.
Right.
And so with the water soluble, it actually dissolves
in the water. So you could use it in your shake,
in your wine.
Or wine.
Just kidding.
yeah, I wonder what the contraindication is of wine and
actually they work well together because of the relaxing effects of wine.
So it's like you just like pass out.
Yeah,
you have a nice relaxing evening.
Just like ups the dosage of the wine.
Yeah.
So for me, I take tincture regularly, and so when I take the water soluble CBD, water soluble is more bioavailable, so I do feel it much faster.
Interesting.
And so also it's almost like I'm confusing my body. So because you do build tolerance after a while. And so when I noticed that when I use the water soluble, I just add it in my water, and I feel it within 5 to 10 minutes. I have chronic pain, so I feel the tightness and the soreness all the time, especially my neck and shoulder, because that's also where my fibromyalgia is. But when I take the water soluble, I notice that I feel less tight and soreness, and much faster.
Okay, cool. I'm going to be shooting you an email, so we'll.
Oh, and also, before I forget, we're gonna give a code.
Oh, cool.
To everybody.
Fun moms.
Fun moms.
Okay.
What's the code?
There was a question in the chat about how do you take tincture? So you mentioned what about directly into the mouth? Do you do that?
Yeah, you put it underneath your tongue.
Okay.
I'll hold it there about 30, 60 seconds, and then you would swallow. That's the most effective way of taking a tincture.
Okay.
It gets into your bloodstream.
Okay.
And you leave it there for 30 seconds because that's how it gets into your bloodstream. Okay. And then when you swallow it, then it goes through your digestive system.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh,
and then what? So yeah, go back to the Fun Moms. What does that do?
You get a 10% discount.
Oh, cool. Great. And how long does that last?
Until the end of the year.
The end of the year. Okay, great. We'll have to let our members know.
And if you see us at the store or at events, you can actually try out, let's say a pain cream. You could try out and see how effective it is for you. We've had people try it out in the beginning of the event, walk around for a bit, and they already feel the effects. And I feel like that's a benefit of being able to try a CBD product, hemp-derived product, you're able
Mhm.
to actually try it at the dispensary. Of course, you can't try a cannabis derived, but
Yeah. Was also one of the benefits of buying from us, or differentiates us from going to, say, a CVS or buying online, is you can test the products first and see if you like it, the smell, the texture, if it works or not. And we also, if you don't like it, we also take a full refund.
Thank you. That's great.
yeah,
That's
you're
a nice
you're
of
gonna
you.
come out with some kind of CBD if you meet with us. You're gonna-
And we're also, and we're also putting together a sample kit. So I know people have been asking about that. So you guys get to buy the some of our popular items in a smaller size. And so if you like it, then that's when, so you don't have to invest so much in a full size and then not like it.
Oh, that'll be
That's
great for
great.
Christmas gifts.
We
Yeah.
also have holiday gift sets coming up. Last year, that was our first Christmas, our first holiday, and we made some holiday gift baskets. And Alameda being so community oriented, and because of the pandemic, a lot of the Alamedans bought their staff presents, corporate gifts, things like that, to client gifts, and from us.
That's
So
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
I know
Are
my
there
company does that, but I will make a suggestion.
Give me their number, I'll solicit.
Okay. I'll send you an email.
and I think we're gonna start doing CBD massages. We're
Yeah.
planning to do that. We're trying to introduce more and more things to people, different services. Since we have a store, we want to do that for people. So CBD massages, CBD foot soaks, CBD after a long day on your feet. Actually CBD, we take CBD baths. We figure a CBD foot soak, possibly
But there's also a couple of spas in Alameda that offer CBD massages with our products.
Oh, great.
So we'll be adding that to our website. And we're working
Nice.
on Hyatt Maui. Hyatt. So we sent them some samples, and we're negotiation part. So hopefully
Cool.
Hyatt will be carrying a product soon.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge. That would be like those are huge types of accounts to land for a young small business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We still want to, we want our products out there, but we also want to give out the information needed. That's why we actually tell our staff, like, before you end it, mention that you can contact us as your friends, your family members, use us as a resource for any kind of information with CBD.
Awesome. Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
I have another question. I was wondering, can you use CBD, because you mentioned using CBD for anxiety, and that I feel like it's more of a mental health thing, like wellness. So as opposed to like inflammation, like can you use CBD for like depression, or do you see people using it like to help their mental health in some way? Like, can you talk a little bit about it?
Definitely, that's part of like the holistic help that CBD provides, not only physical but mental wellness.
So as we mentioned, everybody has an endocannabinoid system, and basically its function is to create that balanced state. And so when you have some type of imbalance, chemical, hormonal, by taking it, by ingesting either tincture or edible, taking it consistently, it will start to address the imbalance that you're having. And that's why it's helped me so far with my perimenopausal symptoms. And so what it does with stress and anxiety, people are stressed or anxious because they are not relaxed. And so how it helps is that putting you in a relaxed state. And that's why you have less anxiety attacks.
Actually, I took a tincture right before this meeting.
Because he was so nervous.
I took my
He was
tincture.
so flustered. I was like, can you please take a tincture?
She did too. She had to speak in front of 200 women at a conference. And she called me and she was saying, I'm nervous. I don't know if I can get
was
through
shaking, like I was convulsing almost.
So I reminded her we have a CBD company. So I took a tincture today. She that day she used
took
a gummy, CBD gummy.
And I swear, even I was astonished. I was like, I texted her, I said, I know, excuse my language, I said, this shit works.
Yes.
To be frank.
See, we're low stress though. That actually kind of for some reason made me think of this. That I remember telling Rolando when we met that one of the reasons I was really strongly interested in CBD is because when I have tried low dosages of THC for my insomnia, I had the unfortunate side effect of panic attacks from it. And so I have swore that stuff off now as a result. It only took one time for me to have one of those, and it was like a 2-hour long experience. So and so that's why I was like really interested in the CBD products and also, you know, the injuries and inflammation and all that stuff. So it's a great alternative for people like me who cannot do the other the other side of the coin. So
yeah, because of the THC gives you that psychoactive effect.
That the THC level is too high. But if you decide to try it again with a lower dosage, and just, you know, again, it's the same thing. It's just finding the right dosage for you. What works for me, it doesn't mean that what dosage works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So
yeah, I went from 5. I was okay on 5. I tried 10. And this was like, and they were edibles, but it was like just too, it was way too much. And then I, you know, tried going back to 5 again, and it wasn't as bad, but I could still, it wasn't a great experience. And so I'm just like, clearly one of those people that this doesn't work for. So
yeah,
it was like the opposite of what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, definitely as the THC psychoactive effects can give people that stress and anxiety. That's why knowing the difference between what you're buying as hemp derived, because we can't go above 0.3%. That's the legal limit. We don't go above that. With a cannabis derived, they go by ratios. So you'll see it 20-1. I believe one of the highest is I've seen 30-1, or 1-1 even more so. So they have to have a higher THC amount to be sold over there.
I think somebody had asked about side effects. I don't think we went through that. So the CBD, well, known side effects, which by having experience is, from what I was told, I've never experienced it, not from a customer, but from reading, is diarrhea, taking too much. So or people just too sleepy, but nothing.
See that it like relaxes everything. And
yeah.
Well, I think some of that is some people, when you take a tincture, it has to have a carrier oil, and the carrier oil is normally coconut oil. So some people have to take a higher amount because of that's their level. That's what their body needs for a certain issue. So they're taking a lot of that carrier oil. So that might upset their stomach. So that might be one of the things that happens. That's why we actually offer a tincture at higher levels. So you're taking that amount of CBD that works for you, but less of the carrier oil.
Do you guys use coconut then? Is that
Yeah,
We use MCT oil, so
MCT.
fractionated coconut oil,
Yeah.
okay?
which is the most common in tinctures. Is one of the best carriers to infuse CBD with.
And for the roll-ons, are you doing like grapeseed or?
Hemp seed.
Hemp seed.
And then for our skincare, jojoba.
Very cool. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She mentioned hemp seed. It's be careful when you're buying stuff off, let's say Amazon. When people see hemp seed, state hemp seed doesn't actually have CBD cannabinoids. It's so low. But there's companies that unfortunately advertise that, and
People think it's CBD.
People think it's CBD.
That's good to know.
Yeah, this one just popped in my head.
Yeah,
You
like
never know what you're buying on Amazon anymore. That's
Or even Sephora carries hemp seed, or some of their skincare is hemp seed, and people think it's CBD.
It's like a buzzword almost that people are grabbing onto.
yeah. There's like that whole hair care line called hemp.
Yeah. Oh, hemps. Yeah. I know. Yeah, but it doesn't have the CBD in that large amount. That's beneficial.
Okay. Anybody else?
Are there any other red flags that we should look for, like those products that are trying to trick us, or?
That's one to mention. Others perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, just
I think that's one of the main ones. That personally bugs me when I see it. You know, that makes me personally I see that and I kind of cringe.
Another thing that I was gonna ask is, I think I'm interested in CBD, but then I'm kind of nervous about walking into a dispensary and then asking for, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to attend this workshop. But so if we were to walk into a dispensary looking for a CBD hemp derived, would they have hemp derived at CBD?
No.
So legally they cannot carry hemp derived products. They also in facilities, so they can't, even their distribution centers and the grow facilities, they can't mix. Cannabis plant cannot be mixed with hemp plants, and vice versa.
And to be honest, a lot of dispensaries, since that side of the industry is built on the THC side, that's what their wheelhouse is. That's what they know about. At our store, we're actually sandwiched between two dispensaries, and they walk over their customers to our store because that's where they're going to find the products they're looking for, also information as well. So you could always have them give us a call, or come to the store.
Well, first off, when you first go to the dispensary, they ask you for your ID. You guys don't take ID information? Like, even though they say that it doesn't go anywhere, and then when you pay for it, you have to give them your information too. It's like they are tracking somehow, but we don't need, when we go to your store, we don't need to do any of that, right? Well, if we pay with credit card, there's definitely information there, but if we pay with cash, and that's the other thing too, like they're funny about their cash system, at least when I went before the COVID.
Yeah, it still is. It's one of those disparity to even us, even though we're federally legal, we're still, we're still going through that with our banking system, our POS system. Square just recently shut us down. So it's still definitely, it's still happening in our industry. So basically using our vulnerability to leverage and make money.
Yeah, it's hard to run a business all on cash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And dangerous.
that's
true,
yeah.
true.
I know going in a dispensary, it can be intimidating.
Yep,
It can
yep,
be, you still have those feelings that, it's you're doing something illegal.
right.
But that's why we try to
Yeah,
make our store as welcoming as possible. That's why we
Yeah,
actually,
look at our store. Does it look intimidating?
yeah. There's not a bouncer outside.
yeah, and that's why we also try to go do as many events as we can throughout the Bay Area. We try,
Mhm.
it's like our form of outreach to get things more comfortable, because you're comfortable at an event. So you can come up to us and just ask us questions.
Great.
Right.
Even the like the online dispensaries, there are some that carry CBD products on their website, but they don't tell you anything about them. You don't know anything about them. It's just like, oh, would you like some bath salts? Like that's kind of how they just kind of, it's an afterthought on their sites. It's literally at the bottom of their products. And so yeah, it's definitely something that they're just not focused on, and really not, like, I didn't know there was a difference between hemp and cannabis derived CBD because they don't tell you that on their site.
Yeah.
So we actually have some customers that come from the dispensaries next to us, and they ask a lot of questions, and they refer to us for more information.
And I think but it's also coupled with part of the regulations. We You're not allowed to do certain things or make any kind of claims, because even though it's been researched outside the country, we can't use that research. It has to be researched inside the country. So our with our website, we try to give out as much information, but we're actually limited too. We can't tell you exactly. We have to use certain words.
Yeah, so so also our website, our Instagram, our social media, it's so that's why now you'll see a lot of very generalized website because we're being watched.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's why doing this talk is great. I really appreciate that Morgan offered this to us, even though I'm still a bit nervous. But
Good practice though, right?
but it's actually, when she approached me about it, I was totally excited. That was something that we try to do, and doing it this way actually opens up the door of people getting the information they need. Thank you, Morgan. By the way, I wanted to thank
Yeah,
you.
this is super helpful because I think it's just one of those things that people are curious about. They hear about it, they read about it, but then when it comes down to where do I buy it? How do I buy it? What should I even buy? They kind of hit a wall, I think, a lot of times. And like you said, if you're having to use generalized information online, you're also limited as to what you can decipher as to what you need from just a website. So if they have a resource like you guys where they can call or email and say, look, this is what I'm dealing with, what would you recommend I try? And having that resource, I think, is fantastic.
And just a personal note, I actually recently quit my job at the hospital to join Pia in the company full time. And
16 years at the hospital.
16 years. And while I was quitting, I actually became more open of what I'm doing. And, I expected different reactions, but one of the reactions I was actually really surprised and really grateful for was a cardiologist mentioned to me that it was a good decision. Reason being, he said that we're told not to prescribe opiates anymore because of the issues. And now he's telling his patients cannabis. But the interesting thing about it is the patients are forcing the clinicians to learn more about cannabis because it's helpful. And now the clinicians are trying to learn more and more. So being active in your questions is going to help the whole process along.
That's great. Congratulations. That's a big decision.
It was,
It's
I
a
think
scary
it's a
decision.
scary, but I believe it
Yeah.
was the right time. If I didn't do it, I would have probably never met Morgan. And I would have not been able to
That
talk to you.
weekend.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I only did it to become a stay-at-home mom, and I was nervous quitting my job. So I can only imagine what it's like to make a leap into a business doing it. Like, yikes! But you guys are doing great. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what you guys are offering for the holidays. So
Yeah, definitely. We're really active, just kind of online in terms of the different things that we are doing. Whether it's events that we're going to, we definitely we post it online, so you could actually meet us, and we post any new products that we could be coming out, on our social media.
okay, great. Ladies, any more questions?
No,
No,
we let them go.
Thank you.
I think if you guys have Facebook, then tag us on your event so we know when you'll be somewhere.
Yeah, and also if you follow us on Instagram, we post our events on there every week. I I post some on our website, but I'm not as, it's a little bit more effort to update the website. But our Instagram, we're definitely very active on our Instagram.
We're actually this weekend. We're going to be at.
Yeah, we're going to be at a conference, a women's conference. We're vending there. It's a 3-day conference. Urban Air Market in Hayes Valley in San Francisco, and also at the Ferry Building in San Francisco on Sunday.
Fox City.
Cool.
You guys are busy.
Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come by and talk to us.
You're like, no, we are ready for you.
No, we'll
you
just email
guys-
you. It's easier.
Do you guys ship within California to other states?
Yeah, we ship anywhere in the US.
Okay.
That's why we were popular too for gifts.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
basically, the gift set, when we package it, it goes directly to their friends and family.
When do you think you're gonna have your gift sets available?
That's our next project. Actually,
On my list.
that's our next
And they take
project.
a breath.
Actually.
You have to get a day off first.
We don't take a day off. Our Mexico was our first trip in 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
So
And you were like
Well deserved.
on your vacation. I'm sorry.
That's totally fine.
yeah, we're used to it.
She gets calls 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning.
The business phone goes to my cell phone.
Is it all the East Coasters who are already awake? And
Yeah,
basically.
that's true. Yeah.
yeah, I used to live on the East Coast, and we'd like call people and we're like, "Are you just like up or something? What's going on?"
Yeah, I know that you're still sleeping. I'm like,
Oh, still sleeping? It's like noon here. Yeah, I totally know how that is. Like we would have to wait like till 11 o'clock before we could call a different
half
office.
your day is gone in California and started just starting.
Crazy. Okay, well, I will talk to you guys soon, and yeah, let me know what your response is and see if I'm sure you'll get some emails or phone calls from us, and we will definitely post the recording and let them know of the discount code. Thank you
Yes,
very much
yes,
for that.
yes.
We're very excited.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Thank
much for this
you.
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Orlando and Pia. Good luck.
Thank
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.